Imagine discovering that most of your stress was never necessary in the first place. Not your responsibilities, not your goals, but the invisible pressure in your head telling you, what will people think? For most of our lives, we're trained to care about this. We shape our behavior to fit expectations. We adjust our personality depending on who's watching. We chase approval like it's oxygen. And slowly, without realizing it, something dangerous happens. We stop living for ourselves. But centuries ago, a philosopher named Michel de Montaigne noticed something strange about human behavior. The people who seemed the most free were the ones who stopped caring about the wrong things. And once you understand what he meant by that, you start seeing life very differently. Because the truth is, the moment you stop chasing validation, your entire life begins to shift. The hidden trap most people never escape. Think about your day yesterday. How many small decisions were influenced by other people's opinions? Maybe you hesitated to speak honestly. Maybe you worried about how you looked. Maybe you replayed a conversation in your head long after it ended. Now imagine something shocking. What if none of that actually mattered? Montaigne believed one of the greatest sources of human suffering is our obsession with how we appear to others. We constantly ask ourselves questions like, do they respect me? Did I say something wrong? What if they judge me? But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people are too busy worrying about their own image to analyze yours. In other words, the prison you feel trapped in might not even exist. The strange power of not caring. Now, when people hear the phrase "stop caring," they usually misunderstand it. They imagine laziness or indifference or giving up. But that's not what Montaigne meant. He wasn't talking about abandoning responsibility. He was talking about freeing your mind from useless pressure. There's a massive difference between caring about what truly matters and exhausting yourself over things that don't. Think about the most confident person you know. Do they spend all their time trying to impress everyone, explaining themselves, seeking approval? Probably not. Instead, they seem relaxed, unbothered, comfortable being themselves. And ironically, that's exactly why people respect them. Here's where the paradox begins. The less you try to prove yourself, the more powerful you become. The less you chase validation, the more confident you feel. And the less you try to control everything, the more life begins to work in your favor. At first, this sounds backwards, but think about it. When you're constantly worried about failing, you hesitate. When you're obsessed with being liked, you hide your true personality. When you try to control every possible outcome, you become paralyzed. But when you release that pressure, you start taking risks. You speak more honestly, you move with confidence instead of fear, and suddenly opportunities start appearing. Most people are fighting reality. One of Montaigne's biggest insights was simple. Life is unpredictable. You cannot control everything. Yet many people spend their entire lives trying to. They plan every detail, they worry about every possible outcome, they obsess over mistakes that already happened. And what does that create? Anxiety, exhaustion, frustration, because reality refuses to follow our scripts. Montaigne believed wisdom begins when you stop fighting that fact, when you accept uncertainty instead of resisting it. And strangely, that acceptance creates peace. A question that changes everything. Ask yourself something honestly. How much of your stress comes from things that haven't even happened yet? The future, other people's opinions, imaginary criticism. Now imagine removing those worries. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing you don't need everyone to understand you. You don't need approval to move forward. You don't need to be perfect to be valuable. That realization alone can completely transform how you live. Why letting go actually improves your life. Here's the strange thing about detachment. When you stop obsessing over results, results often improve. When you stop chasing attention, people notice you more. When you stop forcing outcomes, opportunities appear naturally. This isn't magic, it's psychology. Because once your mind is no longer filled with anxiety and doubt, your energy shifts towards action. You think clearer, you decide faster, you move with confidence, and confidence changes everything. The relationship paradox. This philosophy also changes how you connect with people. Many relationships fail because of expectations. We want people to behave a certain way, understand us perfectly, meet every emotional need. But the more you try to control others, the more conflict appears. Montaigne believed true connection comes from acceptance. Allow people to be themselves. Stop trying to shape them into your expectations. Ironically, when you stop demanding so much from people, relationships become deeper and more natural. The people who are comfortable being alone often attract the strongest connections because they don't need validation. They simply bring authenticity, and authenticity is magnetic. The freedom most people never experience. Imagine walking through life without being shaken by criticism. Imagine making decisions without fearing judgment. Imagine pursuing what you truly want without constantly seeking approval. This is the freedom Montaigne described centuries ago. Not a life without challenges, but a life without unnecessary mental weight. A life where your energy is focused on what truly matters. The final realization. Some of the best moments in life are never planned. The conversation that changes your perspective. The idea that appears unexpectedly. The opportunity you didn't see coming. These things rarely happen when you're desperately chasing them. They happen when you create space, when you relax your grip on control, when you stop carrying burdens that were never yours. Montaigne believed wisdom wasn't about conquering life. It was about learning to move with it, to accept its unpredictability, to laugh at its chaos, and to trust that not everything needs to be controlled. So here's the real question. What would happen if you stopped caring about the things that never truly mattered? Because sometimes, the moment you let go of the wrong worries, life finally has room to give you the right opportunities.